Determine the limit by interpreting it as the definition of the derivative. Limit as h goes to 0 of the tangent of pi over 3 plus h minus the square root of 3 all over h. This limit is of the form limit as h goes to 0 of f of a plus h minus f of a, all divided by h, which is the definition of the derivative and is equal to f prime, the derivative of f of x, evaluated at a, f prime of a. So instead of working out the limit directly, we can, as an alternative, find the derivative of f of x and evaluate it at a. In order to do that, we have to determine f of x, and that's determined by comparing the f of a plus h to the f of a plus h term over here. And what we want to do to find the function is replace the a plus h with an x. So we're going to take out the a plus h and replace it with an x. This will then be your f of x. This term right here is part of f of a and is not part of our f of x. So our f of x is just going to be the tangent of x. The next thing to do is to determine the a value. And the a value is found by whatever's adding with h in f of a plus h. So looking over here, what's adding with h is pi over 3. That's our a value. So what I have is f of x and a, and I want to find f prime of a. So we're going to take the derivative of f of x, which will give us f prime of x. And the derivative of tangent is secant squared. And now I can evaluate this at the a value of pi over 3, which will give us secant squared of pi over 3. Secant squared means to work out the secant first and then square the result. So this is the same thing as secant of pi over 3 and then quantity squared. Well, the secant is 1 over the cosine, so we will have 1 over the cosine of pi over 3. Now the cosine of pi over 3 is a 1/2. So 1 over 1/2 and then quantity squared. In order to evaluate this, we will want to reciprocate that 1/2 and multiply it with the 1 that's in the numerator. So 1 times 2 over 1 and then squared. 1 times 2 is 2. We have 2 over 1 and then squared. Well, 2 over 1 is just a 2. 2 squared, which comes out to 4. Therefore, this limit up here is all equal to 4.